writer's therapy. It's going to be pretty obvious pretty quick. Neither of us are therapists, but we probably should find one. This podcast is like our group therapy. Kate, me, and listener.
Hi, Kate.
Hi, Marty. I feel like I'm quoting a movie when I say that, but Is it Back to the Future?
Yeah.
His name's Marty, right? Yeah. Okay.
Marty McFly,
Hi,
man.
Marty.
Dude, I love Back to the Future. I need to watch that.
God,
I've been watching
they're
it this year.
such great movies.
What was that?
They're such good movies.
Yeah, indeed.
I made Austin watch them with me.
Yeah.
I want to say earlier this year. And he could not get over how extremely formulaic, like, the second two are, just modeled after the first one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. When I tend to not watch the second two even, I'll just, like, the story begins and ends with the first one to me, you know? I just put my second ear pod in, so hopefully I can, like, hear you better.
Can you hear me chewing?
Yeah. But it sounds like static.
Oh, no.
I never would have I never would have guessed it was chewing. I just would have thought it was static. So, like, you're fine.
I was like, maybe I can eat quietly enough. Caught on record.
Can you hear my air conditioner? You probably should turn that thing off.
Very faintly.
I feel like we should just, like, play a game of Can You Hear This? Can you hear this?
My AC just turned off, so I think you might hear my cat meow at me because she's sitting right here like, why aren't you giving me that food? It's my dinner.
My cat was just meowing at my closed door, so, like, that happens. Also, I'm reading It Happened One Summer. Right?
Oh, yeah. How is that?
I'm only, like, 50 pages in, and it's... I almost said totes adorbs, and that's kind of my point. So when I watch Schitt's Creek, my Alexisisms that, like, I kind of do, like, I have some mannerisms that could overlap into Alexis, right? And those isms get amplified. And apparently that happens while I'm reading this book, too. So, like, I'm just kind of a little extra.
I feel that intensely, but it was like when I was watching House the first time.
When you were watching what?
I got much meaner. House, the show.
Oh, yeah.
I just became a much more intensely mean person.
When you were watching Schitt's Creek?
Oh, no, when I'm watching House.
House.
I have not seen Schitt's Creek. Because he's so mean to everyone. And I was just like, oh, yeah, I can do this. I can say things like that. I was like 12. Keep in mind.
And it's just kind of like, with House, like, he's mean to everyone, but it's okay because he's also smarter than everybody, you know?
Yeah. And, like, you want to think you're smarter than everyone.
It's pretty, I definitely am very adaptive. Like, I pick up on different mannerisms really quickly. Like, if I go someplace that has an accent, I have to, like, watch myself that I don't start doing the accent.
Ooh. Big one.
Yeah, and I'm not particularly good at accents, so it's not a great thing to do.
Yeah, you want to be careful about that.
So do you want to talk about our shared experience this week?
Yeah. God, the thing is, this is, like, not the first time this kind of thing has happened to me.
Really?
But it's the first time it's happened this fast.
When did it happen another time?
Well, so I had...
We should...
Years and years ago.
Should we give background to this conversation?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're still talking.
Do you want to
go? Okay, so...
So vague.
Kate and I are both supposed to be published by Violet Days Press, and they had a big... they behaved poorly, and it blew up on the social media. And so Kate's Anthology was canceled. It appears that mine will still be coming out tomorrow, but we're also, like, we have...
it happened too late for you to be able to change your contract.
Absolutely. It happened too late, and, yeah, because it happened...
Literally a week before you're being published. Yeah. So there was no time to pull out, even though you wanted to.
Yeah. Well, and like all of the authors, we've, you know, we haven't been told by Violet Gaze that this is the case, but I mean, we've all done our own promoting and stuff like that. So we've held up our end of the contract, and we will no longer be promoting the anthology.
Well, so I haven't seen any new updates from them since it happened. Like, I keep checking their Twitter. Like, are you going to put out another statement?
I haven't
like,
gotten
what's going
an email
on with you?
either. Like,
oh no.
Yeah, like no communication. So like, I don't know. It is super unfortunate and very disappointing. And what I have been coming to terms with is like tomorrow, I haven't heard anything different, but tomorrow I will officially be a published author, but I also won't be telling anyone. You know what I mean? Like,
and that's so sad. Like,
yeah, it's pretty sad, man.
Your day.
Yeah. But anyway, you know what? It will still be true. I will still have done this successful thing, and I've worked really hard for it, and I'm included with really great authors, and I'm really proud of that. And I'll just keep going.
Yeah.
So.
I'm sorry that like your first time being published couldn't be met with more fanfare.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, even from yourself, like, it should be like a project you're proud of that you can shout about every single day.
Yeah.
And feel good about that shouting.
I don't know. Like, I am really proud of myself. Their life is not super accommodating to maintaining this like goal and this dream, and I just continue to not give it up, and I'm really proud of that. And one publication isn't going to define anything. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's okay. It is okay. It is a big disappointment, but I would rather follow my gut, and my gut tells me this is the right way to act. So, what about you? What was the other time that all this happened, or do you just want to launch into your conversation about?
Oh, yeah. Well, so I think I mentioned this before, but like when I was in college, I had self-published a small thing that, you know, like I'm not proud of it anymore, but like I consider it like very unpolished, and I'm kind of distancing myself from it, just kind of like, yeah, it happened, but like it's I'm not promoting it anymore.
Okay.
And you know, like I think at the time it was a step in my writing journey.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had self-published it. I just kind of put it out there, and this is when I was like really into like the Tumblr blogging.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a good community there, and I, you know, messaged all my friends on it, like, oh my god, you gotta reblog this, you gotta talk about this, please, because we're friends. Mm-hmm. And that was like the sort of guerrilla marketing that I did for it, and you know, it got some decent exposure for something that it really wasn't that great.
Okay.
And a small publishing company, Quirk Books, I believe it was. So one of their editors had approached me. She emailed me through my Etsy, because my Etsy and my Tumblr were connected. Like, I would be like, here's my links back and forth. And that was like really the only way to find me.
Okay.
But she had emailed me through my Etsy, and she was like, hey, I'm interested in acquiring this book. And I was like, oh my god, publishing it for real through like an actual publishing company. And I was over the moon because this company had done a couple of books that I actually really liked.
Okay.
And they were publishing an artist that I was just in love with her work. And so, you know, I was over the moon for a while. And then, you know, so like we did some emailing about like, what are the marketing statistics for this, right? Like, what have you gotten from this so far? Are you going to like, can you add more onto it for when we publish it, you know, through us? And there was like a lot of talking, and then one day like she had to go on vacation, and I was like, okay. And then it was like 2 weeks later, I emailed her again. I was like, so how was your vacation? And what I got back was, oh, she doesn't work here anymore.
Oh.
And so then I was like, oh, so what do I do? Do I talk to somebody else? And they're like, yeah, you can try to see if anyone of the other editors here are interested in it, but if she didn't pass it off on to anyone, then you're out of luck. And that I did try to talk to some of the other editors there, but they were no one taking.
Mm-hmm. They weren't connected to it.
Either they didn't see whatever she saw in it, or they had their own plates full,
mm-hmm.
Whatever reasons they had. And yeah, it was just heartbreaking.
Yeah. Have you reached out to anyone about like self-publishing your short story?
For the monster anthology?
Yeah.
Not yet. I kind of am still coming to grips with that. I probably have to self-publish it if I want to do anything with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, I didn't have a plan to self-publish. Like, we talked about our plans before.
Mm-hmm.
And, my plan was publish with an anthology and then have that writing credit and then maybe put out a couple other self-published
mm-hmm.
things while that was going on. And then having that writing credit was like, to me, it was like, this is a good idea to have. This shows your credibility.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like a notch on your resume for when you're querying to other publishing companies about your other projects. And I had that one big project that I am querying it. And I did, oh my God. The Violet Gaze Press thing happened the day before Pit Mad. And so I'm sitting there like just emotionally wrung out like, oh my God. Like, because I got accepted one day. I think it was a Tuesday.
Yeah.
And then Wednesday, I got the email. Like, I logged on to Twitter, I saw the drama going down, and I was like, oh no, this does not seem good.
Uh-huh.
Like, this is, ugh. And then I got the email a couple hours later saying, yeah, we're canceling the anthology. Sorry about that. And yeah, it was just like the whiplash of like, I've literally had this good news for one day and goodbye.
Yeah, dude.
So that was quite a turnaround on that, but then the next day was Pit Mad, and I was like, I had been preparing for it, but I was just I had been putting off the rewrite your pitches stage of it, and I had just been so wrung out. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to get these done.
Yeah, it took me a couple of days to start writing again after all that went down. Like you said, just like emotionally wrung out. And
like, I know the person who's suffering the worst from like all this nonsense is RM Virtues.
For sure.
And it's so heartening to see the outpouring of community support that he's getting.
I completely agree. Yeah, I was like talking to my cousin about all of this, and she was just kind of like feeling out like where I was at emotionally. I'm like, honestly, like I'm just really happy to see the community like come in support of RM. Like, this is the kind of society really I want to live in. And like, we've talked a little bit about this too. There's really been a lot of community support among like the author to author, editor to author, like how like Allie has reached out that like she'd be willing to help edit for free to help people self-publish, and you reached out to do covers. And I just think that there's a lot of even like our Discord starting up and like being able to like talk to other writers that they're in the thick of it too, and like what's going on with them, and giving and getting advice. Like, this sucks.
I still think it's just so,
but like,
like, because what so long ago it feels like now you were talking about you wanted to put together a server of other contemporary writers, and I think that's kind of what we've got. I think there's some paranormal mixed in. Yeah,
absolutely. And then like my friend Jessie does YA, and there's just been I don't want to be like grossly optimistic and like positive, but like there's a lot of like great things that have like come out of all of this, and I'm just really grateful for that. I'm really grateful that we write romance and that the community tends to be very supportive of each other. I feel like romance as a genre tends to have less of the perspective of like, if they're reading your book, they're not reading my book, right?
Because the readers are so voracious.
Absolutely. But also I think a lot of it is because like mostly like it's written so much from like a woman's perspective and is written very primarily by women, and so like we just kind of have we have less of that toxic masculinity to deal with. So
Yeah.
So I think that
definitely. Like, we've seen, I think also this week, I've seen people putting together auctions and charity auctions for, I think it was Haiti.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw on TikTok, she's Kata Pretends. And yeah, this whole month, she's like, all of her profits are going towards Planned Parenthood and like stuff like that to help with...
oh yeah, the Yellowhammer Fund?
Yeah,
things like that.
The trying to dismantle Roe versus Wade, but whatever.
Yeah. Last week was just so much fun.
Oh my gosh.
It's like every single thing happened at once.
Yeah. And
I was still unpacking from my camping trip, and I was just like,
yeah.
God.
And then I got sick.
Oh, I know. It's just like, this is the perfect time for everything to happen.
Oh my gosh.
Simultaneously.
Yeah. I had my first COVID test last week after a year and a half.
Did they stick the Q-tip all the way up into your brain?
It's not bad. It's really not, because they just have you blow your nose, and then apparently testing has just kind of, grown, sort of thing. Like, they've just gotten better at it. Like, technology has gotten better. And so, yeah, they have you blow your nose, and then they're high in your nostrils, but they're still in your nostrils, right?
Yeah.
And, like, I'm terrible when it comes to, like, the eye doctor. Like, I have a really hard time with that in, like, the nose, too. And so she's, like, trying to do it, and I already, like, I had already built a rapport with this woman. Because she went to take my temperature, and I had my mask on. And I was like, do you need me to take my mask off? She's like, unless you have a different plan. Right. Right, okay.
It's like, okay, yeah, you got a point.
Yeah. So, yeah, I blow my nose, and then she's, like, trying to swab it, and I can't stop moving my head back. And so she stopped. She's like, I'm going to put your head on the wall. I'm like, I'm going to put my head on the wall. So, like, I literally had to lean my head back against the wall. And then I was still trying to get away, but the wall was there to stop me. Like,
hey, it's good.
Oh, man. It's just one of those things. I have an instinct, like the eye puffer dilator thing at the doctors.
Yeah,
right?
They can't warn you when it's going to happen. Otherwise,
gosh.
you're just going to close your eyes.
Oh, it's terrible. I keep on jerking away. And then there's the one that they have where they just, like, lightly touch your eye. You can't even feel it. It happens so fast. And mentally, I know I can't even feel it. But, like, my instinct is, like, get away from my eye. And I can't turn that instinct off. So.
Oh, you know what's going to gross you out?
Oh. It takes...
Okay, so I went camping in Georgia years and years ago.
Okay.
And one of the things was... So, I was, like, the slowest hiker. So what they did was they put me at the front of our group of hikers.
Okay.
And, so I could set the pace. And, like, it was actually easier for me to walk a lot faster when I was at the front.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. Like, there's, like, a weird mental block. But anyway, so, like, the thing about walking at the front of the line, though, is that you're usually the first person through, like, a sort of swarm of gnats.
Okay.
Or a spider's web.
Yeah.
So you're going face first through them constantly. And so, like, every half hour or so I had to stop. Like, I have another gnat in my eye.
Oh.
And the guy behind me would be like, okay, hold still. And he would swipe his finger across my eye. And, like, I think about him, like, I don't know, twice a week. Because I'm like, man, what a weird bond we had. Like, we didn't talk a lot. But, like, he was there to
swipe your
poke his finger into my eye.
What a weird bond we had.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Like, it was just, we are soul bound to one another.
Forever, he will be the man that touched my eye.
Yeah.
Just every
I can't get Austin to do it because he doesn't like eyeballs.
I do not either. I don't like eyeballs.
Okay.
No.
You wouldn't touch my eyes.
I mean, I touch my kids' eyes.
No, they're your kids.
Yeah.
You touched
I would,
everything.
Kate, I would touch your eye. I don't like eyes. They freak me out. And I would probably be like, do you want me to hand sanitize before and after? And like, it'd burn. But...
Well, so the thing is, we were hiking, so we were just dirty.
Yeah.
Dirty kids for like 1 month.
Uh-huh.
It was a long camping trip. Because, like, there was an opportunity to shower.
Okay.
But there was a snake in the shower. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to go dunk in the river. That's probably worse, but...
You know what? I would have made the same choice, probably. I don't know. Snakes don't really bother me. Like, if I could get the snake out of the shower with, like, a stick or something, I'd totally do it.
There's a garden snake, living in the doorstep to my backyard. Okay. And so every time I step out, I jump out of the door. I'm like, you're not getting me.
It's a gardener snake. That's amazing.
No one believes me about how long this snake is. Everyone gets over by the time they see the last 5 inches of his tail. And they're like, oh, he's not so bad. And I'm like, you weren't here for the first 2 feet.
Yeah, no, I told you about that little hike we did this spring with the kiddos. And Jude and I went down by the river. And it was like the first warm day. And like Jude and I were like surrounded by like 7 gardener snakes.
Oh my God. I don't know. I don't know what I would do.
I mean,
in that situation.
The snakes don't bother me. But I live in an area where like we don't really have dangerous snakes, right? Like there are some, but there's not a lot. And it's pretty easy to avoid them, right? So I knew we were surrounded by gardener snakes and they want to just leave us alone as much as we want to leave them alone. If they were inside my house, I'd have a full panic. Right? It's like seeing mice out in the field or something. Like, I'm totally fine with it. Whatever. Mice should be outside. But if I see them in my house, I'm like, oh my God, Andrew, I need you to be an adult. I cannot. So yeah, I mean, it's all about context, right? So.
Yeah. Context is 80% of it.
Yep. Have you gotten any writing done this week?
Oh, no. I mean, I've pretty much been basically just focused on making those covers that I'm doing for the monster anthology authors that now have to self-publish.
Yeah.
And which, like, I am enjoying it.
Cool.
But my computer has been doing this really fun thing where, like, I think what it is I'm stressing the graphics card, which is part of my motherboard, because I don't have a dedicated graphics card. Because it's a laptop, and they usually don't have those. And sorry, have fun. Like, do you want a little tutorial on how like you can replace parts in laptops, but except for like these 2 parts?
Sure. I mean, you said it doesn't have its own designated graphics card, and I'm like, oh, is that what? I don't know what that is. So like, very basics for me.
Okay, well, so when you get a computer, you have your hard drive, you have your RAM, you have your motherboard, which has your processor. And the processor probably has a graphics card built in. And so the thing is, like, so you have your RAM, and you could probably go to the store and just figure out what kind of RAM you want. And you can get some sticks that are the same size as the ones currently in your laptop, but work much better because they have a larger size on them, like inside. Bigger on the inside. And so, like, you have your 8-bit RAM, not 8-bit. 8 something RAM. Oh, brain. And then you're going for like your 128 RAM. Like, the numbers go up, I think, in like a scale of powers to 2 powers.
Okay.
Does that make sense? To the second, to the third, to the fourth, etc. Okay. Anyway, so you go up in that, and then you can just pop the RAM in. Obviously, it's a little more complicated than that. You need to there's some, like, static concerns about you need to, like, ground yourself with a bracelet thing. Okay. I'm explaining this so badly because I'm not the technical person. I'm just the person who watches a bunch of other technical people do things, and then I go, yeah, I know how to do that.
I totally do that with cars.
And then, like, so... And pretty much your hard drive, your RAM, there's a bunch of things. Your fan, I've even replaced my fan. And so you can swap a bunch of things out, but there's some things that are built in and you cannot replace them. Or you're replacing like both the motherboard with the processor and the graphics card because it's one unit. And so you would also have to make sure that what you're replacing it with fits inside the small casing of your laptop.
Okay. Yep. I know what you're talking about. Okay.
So this is easier when you have a desktop tower unit.
Because there's space.
Which has a lot of space, and it's built to accommodate you putting all of your hands inside there with the stuff you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so desktops are built for you putting whatever you want in there. Laptops are not. And I'm on this tangent. Where am I at? My point is, my graphics card is failing. And so every now and then, it does this fun little flickery thing.
Yeah.
Where it flickers like it's trying to give me a seizure. Like, I'm staring at it like, I don't think this is good for me.
Oh, no.
I genuinely feel distressed looking at it like this, not just because my computer is failing.
Like,
and so I did, like, a bunch of different fixes, and none of them worked, and then I just sat there with it flickering for a while, and then it stopped flickering, and I was like, oh, now you're just deciding to behave.
Yeah. I mean, what are you going to do? How do you fix this? What do you do?
Well, I do think it was acting up because I had left the window open for a little while,
Okay.
and the humidity had come in.
Okay.
And humidity just isn't a good thing around electronics. And so what I'd done is I'd closed the window and I'd tried to work some drier air into it. That sounds like a weird thing, like I'm blowing air into it on purpose. I just put it in a drier room.
Okay. Is it working? So it's, like, fixed now? And you said that you weren't, like, using it for gaming and stuff anymore.
I did say that last time it was acting up. And then I proceeded to restart Skyrim, which is not the most graphically intense game ever. I mean, it's 10 years old.
Okay.
But it's probably one of the more graphically intense games on my laptop, which is also 10 years old.
Okay. So, point for point, it's a challenge. So.
I'm not treating it as well as I should be treating it. Let's just say that.
I don't know. It's hard with machines because it's like, you're just supposed to do this thing. So just do the thing you're supposed to do.
Well, like, okay, I wish you could see my machine right now because I keep my paint water right next to one of the vents. And so whenever I flick my paintbrush around, I get water in the vent.
Ooh, okay.
And, you know, there's just water and paint splattered all over my keyboard. And, like, so you can still read the keys. But,
But it does happen.
If there's paint in there clogging something up, that would be my bad. I have previously dropped the hard drive out. It's been replaced since then, but, like, the hard drive does just fall out of my computer on occasion.
Oh!
Which is not a thing it's supposed to do. There's supposed to be some screws that we never put back in. What else? We did replace the fan, but now my cat likes to sleep directly up against the fan because that's where all the hot air. You know, she enjoys it. And my computer is not so enjoying that.
Yeah, with all the fur and all that.
And this week on how to mistreat your laptop.
Yeah, all I do with mine is, like, my real estate work and write. And I try to, like, if it stays plugged in, I try to make sure it stays plugged into a surge protector, and I try not to have it plugged in so that, like, the battery can drain and all that. So I do very little.
God, you're much better at this than I am. I never unplugged my laptop, and my boyfriend was like, this is why you have to replace the battery. Because you've destroyed it.
Yeah, I know, Austin. Okay. Yeah, I tend to, my big, like, the P or the Q was going. It was the P. It was totally the P. Was going. I don't know. It must have had, like, a crumb or something stuck behind it or something.
Ooh. Yeah.
And, like, I'm
notorious for that.
Oh, yeah. I was heartbroken that, like, do I have to replace my laptop? Like, I don't want to. I never want to replace this thing. Like, I just want to keep it forever. So yeah.
I mean, you treat it really well, so you might get to.
I hope so. I love this little beast. Like, and then I got my, my keyboard, so I use that on occasion too. But, yeah.
Well, I mean,
it stormed really bad here tonight, and now this guy is all, like, gray. Like, greenish, you know, like, kind of that yellow. I was supposed to do a showing, but I was like, you know, I'm going to be driving into the storm. So I probably should try to not do that showing tonight and do it tomorrow. So that worked out, though.
That's not, oh my god. So, New Jersey got hit by, I want to say, Ida? Henry?
It was Ida.
I don't know which one.
Right?
It was Ida up here. It might have been Henry. I
really think it was Ida because that's what hit New York City, right?
Okay, yeah, then that's definitely what it was. And so, God, this was the day I got the news about VGP.
Oh my god.
And so, like, Austin and I had made plans to go to this restaurant called the Melting Pot, which is like, okay, we
have a melting pot
fondue.
Here. Yeah.
Okay, I've never been there before, and he really wanted to go because it's like his favorite place. And I was like, we had planned to do it Wednesday night, and then he was like, we don't have to go. And I was like, no, I don't want to ruin the fun. Which I ended up, being kind of sad through the whole thing anyway. Wasn't a good idea. I should have let him reschedule it. But so then we're driving home, and it's not raining there. But we're driving home, literally from Red Bank, which is, all of 20 minutes away. And then we're driving through, like, a foot of water.
Oh, no.
Just to get back to my house, and I'm going, like, 20 miles an hour, crawling through.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, it was bad. And my mom literally was waiting at the door, like, oh my god, where are you guys?
Oh. Dude, I just feel for your mom in that situation. Like, as a mom, like, why did I ever let you grow up? I should have stopped you. Why are you? No, you should just stay small and I can keep you safe. Like obviously that's not actually my perspective, but like
really
the
bad
fear.
Decisions.
Like I can't see how a parent ever stops being scared for their kids. These little people just keep on getting bigger and doing things. It's horrifying.
It's not fair.
It's not fair. It's not fair. But Ash says thank you to things sometimes, and that's the cutest thing ever. Oh. Like, I helped him with his shoe, and he goes, thank you. It's just the cutest thing. Oh, man. Kids are great. They really are. Oh, Wednesday night. Yeah, so Andrew and I were trying to, like, work on the classroom, which we're still getting together. Poor guy. Like, I had to stop him from, like, doing his work on it tonight so that he could hang out with the kids so I could be up here with you. And, he just, we were just trying to get the classroom done, and I'm just, like, a big mope. And, like, I was talking to one of my friends that's also in the Anthology, and,
God, you make friends so easily.
What?
You make friends so easily. I'm, like, so jealous of you.
I really like people. Like, that's just, like, it. Like, I like people, and,
See, that's my problem. I don't like people as much. I'm like...
that's fair.
People.
That's totally fair. I just am like this. I always have been. But, like, at the same rate, like, most of the people I really attach to are introverts. And so I really like finding introverts to be friends with other introverts, sort of thing. Does that make sense? So, like, making the Discord and, like, having that be, like, something that people are, like, interacting on is like, oh, yay, this is really great. Like, it just makes me happy.
I'm glad you have that.
Yeah. So should we go do our other thing?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Alright, see you there.
What was that?
Bye. No, see you there.
I'll see you there. Bye.
Bye.